Welcome to our very first episode of If You Want Me to Be Honest, where the filter is off, the honesty is high, and the regrets, well, they come later.
I'm April, and this is Cindy.
This is our very first episode of Who Gave Us the Mic? What idiot gave us?
How did this start is the question. And I'll tell you that this began because...
Wasn't my idea.
Well, it's actually because you used to ask me my opinion of things going on and whether you should be honest or truthful with how you feel about situations. And so I always said, well, if you want me to be honest...
And then she would...
Give you my honest truth. Well, that's just because it was the opposite of what you wanted.
Yeah, it's rude.
To hear.
Rude. Yeah, it was
a little
rude.
bit. It was.
But we also think we are funny as shit. Okay, let's be honest. We are funny.
We are to us.
We think we're funny.
Well, what did your husband think of it?
Of what?
Making this podcast.
He never said a word.
Right.
My kids begged me not to.
My kids, in the beginning, they were a little off, actually.
Yeah.
They weren't too sure about us doing this, but then they were like, you two are funny. I think you could do it.
I think we're funny, and that's all that matters.
I think we're hilarious.
Scott thinks we're funny. Mark?
Not so much.
Yeah. I think we're funny.
I don't know.
It's just for fun. We don't care. We're having fun. You like it, you like it. You love it, you love it. You don't, bye.
Yeah. That's her honest opinion, sadly.
Well, I mean, you ain't got to be rude. Just laugh or don't laugh. That's what I do.
Like or don't
Keep
like.
scrolling.
Share or don't share.
Follow or don't follow. But follow.
We prefer you to follow, actually. We're hoping that it takes off.
Yeah.
So what else? What happened today in our office trying to figure out how we're going to set this up?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out that and where we're going to do it and how we're going to do it. We've been friends a long, long time.
It's been 33 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I got most of my grades.
So let's talk about that. I did want to talk.
Okay.
This is one thing I think people should know about you and me. Okay, buddy. Do you remember when we met the very first time?
Oh, God, you still harping on that?
I do.
I remember before I met you, when you spilt shit all over my...
Again, that was not before. That's the day I met your ass.
Well, I thought they told me, and I was like, who is this bitch?
They came out and said, somebody spilled...
I bought a tablecloth for one of our friends, a nice white one.
Whatever.
And it
Trailer
looked so
park.
pretty. And it looked so pretty. And then somebody spilled soda all over it.
I did. I felt so bad. But what was your honest opinion of me at that time?
Well, at first I was like, who's this bitch?
Right.
Spilling shit all over the place. And then you and Scott had a party. And I didn't know you, but I knew Scott. But I lived in Daytona at the time.
Yeah.
And people were at the party. And I was at the person's house you spilt the tablecloth on, waiting for him to hang out with me and our friends. And they were all at your party. So I sat there. You might not have known that. Yeah, I sat there, which you didn't know me at the time, so that's why I wasn't invited. But it's not a big deal. It was like y'all.
I thought that you were there when I spilled the drink.
No, I wasn't. They told me who spilled it. And I was like, who is this bitch?
So when I actually saw you is when you confronted me and said, so you're the bitch that spilled the soda.
Oh, I said that?
Yeah.
Rude.
And I thought, thank you. The first thought of me was,
she's a bitch,
wow,
too.
Dude.
So I said, so you're the one that spilled the soda?
Yeah.
Well,
and I said, well, I cleaned it up. I felt so bad, too.
It was stained.
Okay, well, who buys fucking white?
Okay, I was trying to be
for
cute.
someone that has parties.
Yeah, so that's how we met. But I don't remember not liking you. I just remember like this bitch.
No, I didn't not like you. I did think I would tell you this is what I like. The first time I met you, that situation, you confronted me there at that house, right?
Yeah.
The funniest part is before Scott said to me, All right, so you're going to meet this person, this person, this person, this person.
Scott ran his mouth about me.
He did. He said. Now, Cindy, on the other hand, she has a big mouth.
Wow.
So you might get along with her.
Wow, because you got a big mouth too.
Right. You remember them calling us big mouth bass?
Yes.
Motherfucker.
Mark used to say that so much to me. Big mouth bass, big mouth bass.
I wasn't a fan of Mark's when I first met him.
I ain't a fan of him now.
I'll be honest with you.
That's because of things.
Well,
he was a player.
Dirty bird.
Yep.
You know, I don't like dirty
get
birds.
The worm. But remember when, was it Mark that said to Scott, your girlfriend has the biggest
mouth ever.
Girl that I've ever met.
He said I would never.
Yes, that's what he said.
Ever date a girl with as big of a mouth as you.
Well, guess what? God punished him for
I forewarned him. I remember, you know what I said to him?
Oh,
if you want me to be honest. I said to him that night that he said it to me, I can remember we were sitting in Scott's apartment at the beach side at that apartment at the table, and I said, you got the biggest mouth one there is, buddy. And he said, no, that
I
ain't.
tricked him then. That's why.
I thought I tricked everybody too.
Yeah, no, I tricked him. I even cooked him lunches and stuff. Yeah.
And
That was a big trick.
ask me for a lunch today, bitch.
I'll go through the drive-thru and get you some lunch.
I ain't making that shit
So
no more.
that's when we first met, and then you knew Mark and Scott. I knew Scott since I was in middle school. Scott was in high school.
I know.
And when I first saw him,
oh God,
if you want me to be honest,
we're gonna get stuck on this one again. Well, he ain't no prize now, so go ahead and speak it. Speak the truth.
Well, I was on my school bus with some friends.
Let me go ahead and take a sip.
Is that alcohol? So we pulled up at the high school to pick up the high school kids. And here comes a couple of my friends walking out of the school with Scott. And I was like, the fuck?
Who's
that? He cute. And it was back in the day when all the guys that had long hair, Guns N' Roses, Metallica thing. And I was like, who's that? I think I asked his sister.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, that's my brother. I'm like, oh, And then a couple days later, I seen him with some hoe.
Wasn't me. I was a hoe. But it wasn't me. Yeah. I wasn't that hoe.
So that was into that story.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so that's when I first saw Scott.
But then you ended up hanging out with him and partying.
Yeah. Then we all hung out and partied and, did what we did.
Beach fleas.
Pretty much. Hung out at beachside, drinking, partying, having fun.
Not me. I was sweet and innocent.
Are you being honest right now?
Not really. I mean.
And then you moved here.
Ruined everything.
No, you didn't ruin nothing.
I know, because you found your soulmate, bitch.
You're right.
And so did Mark and Scott.
Yeah, they're lucky.
I mean,
That's how I see it.
I don't know how they ever lived without us.
Exactly.
If you want me to be honest, that's the truth.
So they were pretty wild, Scott and Mark. So that went on. Anyway, so then we get married. She got married the day after I got married. Mm-hmm. Scott was in my wedding.
Was he?
Yes. He walked my mom down the aisle with a different, what's them things called? Buns?
Yeah.
Cumberland buns or something like that. What's them called?
Say it again.
Buns? Cumberland buns? Them bun things that go underneath the jacket, the color ones?
The Cumberland bun.
No, it's the vest part.
Right, the vest.
Okay,
a different
so
colored vest.
he wore the vest to match my wedding.
Right.
And then for his wedding, he used the same, and he just changed
That would be my wedding.
Yeah, your wedding. He just changed the vest.
Correct.
And the reason why we weren't in each other's weddings is because we were planning. It was just too much for us to do that.
Yeah.
So then we got married, and now it's almost 31 years later. We have some regrets.
That's for another episode.
Yeah. It's fine.
That'll probably be titled,
it's coming.
Oh, the regrets we have.
Now we're happily married. She's got 55 kids. I have 2. And a grandbaby, and I do have a grandbaby.
So when we first started hanging out, you were we moved to Holly Hill. I was living in Holly Hill at that time, right?
Yep.
And then you and Mark were where in Daytona?
Yeah, apartments.
Okay.
And, off of Ridgewood.
Yeah. Okay. So
behind Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes. Remember when we watched? Scott was into NASCAR back then.
Oh, here we go. I know what you're going to say.
Okay.
How do you remember this stuff?
Okay. Because this is the kind of stuff that, like, if you want me to be honest, makes me giggle so hard that I need people to understand, really, like...
That I'm an idiot. Yeah.
No, you're not an idiot, but you're funny as shit, okay, when it comes to certain things. Okay. So, Scott decided to tell you and trick you.
He did trick me.
On a 24-hour race, dude. I think it was the Rolex 24.
It was something. It was a long time.
Well, I mean, you should have known something was up when we were spending the night at the Haddam.
I thought y'all were staying the night because we were friends. We weren't friends.
No, it wasn't about friendship. And Scott was trying to figure out what.
Why didn't you watch it on your own damn TVs?
Because Mark wouldn't shut up about us coming over to play cards that night.
Oh.
Remember?
Mark.
That's when we used to play cards all the time.
Okay.
So anyway... Scott said, you said, all right, buddy, let's watch the race together. Who am I
that was
rooting
just
for?
a joke.
I know.
I didn't really want to watch it.
Well,
but
it made him feel good.
Okay. Okay.
And so he said, all right, who's your driver? And what did you say? You were rooting for. You don't want to tell. All of a sudden.
Tom Petty. That's who I knew. I thought I knew it.
Oh, you knew his ass. He just wasn't driving in that
said,
car. Who? Richard Petty is who you meant.
Same thing.
Okay, so those were good times.
That was the first trick of the day. And then he said, it's almost over. It's almost over. Yeah. Every hour, I'm like, when is this race over? It's almost over. It was a lie. It was 24 hours.
Yeah, it was. It was the Rolex 24.
Yeah, that never happened again.
Remember when I had to tell you that he's lying to you?
Yes, finally. Someone tells me.
Yeah, those were good times.
Yeah, I went to bed.
Yeah, I don't remember what I did. I think I got forced to stay up and watch that stupid shit with him.
Sorry, it's your man, not mine.
God, dude.
I wasn't staying up. It was around and around. Tom Petty just going and going.
Tom Petty. I don't even think Richard Petty was racing back then.
He was.
I think he was retired, dude.
No.
I'm going to check it.
I don't know no racing.
Well, how long ago was that?
30.
I mean, Nathan had to have been how long? How old? 4? 3? Right?
Yeah.
3 or 4?
In that area.
Okay, so it had to have been 95. 1995, Ish. 96. I hadn't had Brandon yet. Or pregnant with him.
You didn't have.
That was 97.
Nope. No.
So, wow, it was early. God damn, we're old. The fuck?
We are old, dude.
Ooh.
Wow.
Dude.
Yeah. Anyway, forget about that. We're not that old.
All right. So, yeah. Let's talk about that, where you were working back then, though.
Cleaning hotel rooms.
Yes.
I did that.
I did that as a summer
since
job.
I was 13, though. That was my real life job for years.
Okay, well, I did it as a summer job.
Yeah. Bougie. I worked hotels until we became friends, and then you got me every job to now.
Oh, pretty much.
Yes. Doctor's office.
Yeah, the first doctor's office was the funniest.
Yes, it was.
That was probably the best.
Fun.
That was the best. Yes. One of the best.
It was a good one for me to learn.
Yeah.
From hotels to a doctor's office.
That was a hard learning lesson.
Remember when I took that Texaco card? The patient said, "Do you take Texaco cards?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I never knew
a gas card.
about. But remember, people, this was when credit cards were first coming out, so don't act like I'm that crazy.
Well, they probably have.
But he still brings that up. That doctor still brings that up to me a lot.
All the time.
So, then we worked there for a few years, and then went to a billing
company. Yeah.
I love that job. It was my favorite job ever. So went there, and then you left me there, and then...
Well, I had 15 kids.
Yes, she had 15 kids, so she left me there, which is fine. Remember when you...
Go ahead, say it. What now? Why is it always so fucking funny to you?
Because I think it's funny.
This better be good.
Remember when you had to help me at the job?
Oh, because you clogged the toilet.
Yeah. It was clogged.
Oh.
And I got you and was like, I need help.
I remember. That's how you know you got
a good friend. Because I left you
not
doing
only
it.
Will they smell your ass, they will plunge your shit.
Yeah.
And not tell nobody. It looked like I was the one who
Yeah,
shit.
I left you doing it.
Bro. By the way, everybody that used to work there, it wasn't me.
Well, could have been. And then...
That's when you were on that sub diet.
Sub diet? We just went to Publix so much.
Every day,
And
bitch.
Chick-fil-A too, though. Chick-fil-A.
No, you did that after I was there.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, after I left.
Oh, because me and you split a sub every day.
Dude. Every day.
You're welcome.
I know. I need to do that now and lose more weight.
Yep. Yep. That's the job. I found out I had endometriosis. Mm-hmm. That was... Well, they told me that I wouldn't be able to have a kid.
Right.
That was devastating, even though I didn't want more kids. I didn't
And
think
then you
I
got
wanted...
the angel sent from heaven.
I didn't think I wanted more kids, but so it was.
Well, because you're being told that you once you're told that you can't.
Yeah, because me and Mark
different...
had been married like 10 years by then, and we didn't want kids or any more kids. We had my son.
It's a whole different ballgame when somebody tells you can't have it.
Yes.
What do you mean? You're not going to tell me.
Yeah. That was devastating.
Yeah.
But that was at that job. So then you got me another job. Was that the...
No, we went back.
We went back.
We went back to the same
the
doctor.
first doctor. Yes, we went back to that doctor. I was pregnant.
Dude.
I got pregnant with...
I think I went off and on worked for that doctor probably 4 times total.
You never learned your lesson.
It was like, you know how when like
y'all were like an old married
young,
couple.
Yeah. Well, when you're young and you're
Even though
dating, no, but you're dating a guy, and he cheats on you and breaks your heart, and you're like, but no, it really was a good time.
And then you went
and then
back.
you go back,
Yeah.
and he cheats on you again, and you're like, no, but really, I'm that good girl, please.
I love you.
Yeah, I was always like that with loser boyfriends too in the past. Again, they know who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went back there when I was pregnant because
but you went,
I wasn't going to work.
I hadn't come back yet.
No,
They brought me back for that.
Yeah.
That was when the 2 doctors were working together there.
Remember I drove with you to Jacksonville to do job there for that one doctor?
Oh, yeah.
Only once or twice I went up there.
Yeah, that was a collection account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got me another doctor job. And then another doctor job.
I did.
Because that doctor closed down and moved to somewhere.
Because the angel was sent from heaven.
Yeah.
Seems to be a theme in this this little party.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, that's not good. If you want me to be honest.
And now I work with your billing company.
Yeah, that's fun.
And then
But you also work in the doctor's office.
Yes,
right?
part-time and part-time. Part-time and part-time. Yes. And here we are.
Because it makes you happy.
Yes.
The people there.
Yeah,
always
of
make
course,
you
of course,
so
of
happy.
course. Yes.
That's why you stay.
You're right.
It is. It's partly, I think, a lot of the jobs that I think we've taken on. A lot of the times it comes down to the relationships you have with each individual and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a lot harder to, deal with people that slack or have issues. But you still have some kind of bond. I think that's the main thing.
For sure.
Is that you're bonded to them for,
Yeah.
especially how long you work with them.
Yeah. That's true.
And if you want me to be honest, there's a lot of people there that got some work ethic issues. That's for another. That's for another day.
That's for another day. But yeah, so she's got me every job since I was an adult.
Yeah.
She talked me into doing this.
You're welcome.
They're like, damn.
It's only going to get better. It can only get better, right?
That's right.
Like this
Yeah.
has got to be the lowest that we're gonna be.
The lowest.
Well, I mean, it's nerve wracking starting up.
Oh,
It's,
yeah, and all the new stuff.
a lot of new
all that
and
fancy
get
stuff.
fucking set up.
all our
like,
fancy stuff, just for fun.
I mean, if we get worse decor than this, we're going downhill, girl.
no.
I mean, the budget isn't that friendly.
Well, and not only that, it's just for fun.
I mean, for you. I'm trying to retire on this shit,
Oh,
girl. One
boy.
day.
Oh,
One
boy.
day.
Hey, by the way, I bought a
Certainly
scratch
can't
off.
have a singing career.
I feel like I can.
Oh, shit. Do it. Go ahead. Bust it out. Let us hear it.
I went to the store the other day, and you know how I never buy scratch offs or something?
Yeah.
So I bought a scratch off, a $4 one, at a grocery store. And it's still sitting on my counter. I haven't scratched it off. Because I'm trying to, please, Lord.
Oh, you're trying to pray on it.
I need about 500,000.
So I'm going to give you a little Bible lesson real quick. There was one time Jesus went into the church. Boom.
I know.
So he don't like gambling. Don't pray for it.
I know. It's just a scratch off.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
You're right.
It's not going to change it. I'm just
going to be pissed I lost my $4. That's why I don't buy scratch
hold
off.
on. We're doing all this praying over a $4 scratch off?
Yeah. It could be $1 million in that thing.
Not on the $4.
Why?
It's a lie.
No.
It's a lie.
My son.
Show me the winner.
My son got a $50
Off of
one. I ain't spending $50, dude.
That's
I lose
the
$50, I'll be
difference.
pissed.
Could you imagine?
I can't. $4. There was a $4 one and a $10 one. I didn't spend the $10.
You should have.
No, dude, I can't waste my money like that. Shit, I can go to lunch for that. Food's important.
Okay. Oh, that's another discussion too. I mean, obviously, food's important to me too. Yeah.
And here we are. So then we decided to do this to have fun with it because we work together and we laugh all day long. So we're like, this has got to be out there. This shit's funny. So that's it. And here we are.
I guess we're going to try this and do this. Yeah.
We're going to talk about everyday things, just funny stuff, people that get on our nerves, our jobs, family, friends. We're going to lose a lot of friends, a lot of family. We might
you
even
all
lose
don't
our
know.
jobs.
We won't name names except our specific family. But
yeah. And
those
I think
of
I
you
got threatened already about that.
From family or friends?
My kids. So, but this is going to be fun. Fun for me anyway.
Fun for me too.
Yeah. That's it.
I think that's going to be...
so welcome to If You Want Me to Be Honest.
All right. Well, stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to record shortly, probably in the same clothing you see us in now. It's going to be called Did I Say That Out Loud? It's about all the times that we say stupid shit. When we shouldn't say stupid shit.
But that's an everyday, all day thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's become. Yeah.
It's a problem.
So that's what our next episode is, and hope you all stick around and listen, and
Hit follow,
like, subscribe, whatever you got to do, and check us out. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.